Hello and welcome back to the Letheans Let's Play of TerraFirmaCraft. It has been a while, hasn't it? I've been busy on my Test Pack Please Ignore server, and really haven't had a chance in almost a week to log on here, play some TerraFirmaCraft, but I'm excited to get back into it. Let's assess what was going on last we left and figure out what we're going to do today. So, there's a bunch of stuff I left to despawn because I didn't want it. Over here we can see that last episode we planted some crops and they're beginning to grow, but despite the fact that a week or so has passed out of game, this world has not been loaded. They are not anywhere near fully grown yet. We also began the construction of an expanded farm area for sheep and other animals. We started building this barn, but I think we ran out of wood, and we were probably near the wrapping up point of the episode anyway, so ended it here. I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is go logging to get some more wood. I will probably fell a couple more of those huge trees over there. The sequoia trees. But I want to do some of the detail work in this barn with this white cedar. I think, though, I'd like to wait for these last couple saplings to grow, which should happen within the next 2 in-game days or so. Because once they do, I can swing my axe and actually fell all of them with a single chop. Oh, I guess our secret project also ended in failure last time we played. So we will need to reconsider how to do that. I think the next step is probably going to be building a cave or other completely enclosed area to start that up. Oh, let's check our barrels, see if we were... Oh, we were. Okay, we were in the middle of preparing some hides. I think this was probably from a bear. Wow. Oh, and we even have some leather. Okay, awesome. I don't think we have any particular need for leather right now. Let's look at what its uses are. Bellows, books, item frames. Okay. So we don't need any leather for the time being, but it's always nice to have a little extra. Actually, we might need some for a saddle. I don't see one anywhere. But anyway, let's continue this hide. Huh, I was pretty sure. Okay, it's been a while. Forgive me if I am a little slow to remember some of the specifics of how to get everything working. Oh, okay. It had already been a scraped hide, and then I soaked it. Okay, I get it now. Okay, So I'm going to go out there and fell some trees and let enough time pass so that we can fell some of those white cedar as well. And then I will be back and we will finish up building that barn. See you in a second. Well, that trip was pretty successful. I got quite a lot of wood, but my axe broke. And I was looking around our base, familiarizing myself with everything we had, and I realized we have a bloomery, and we have some iron-bearing ore. That is not iron-bearing ore. I guess I moved it all up here. Oh yeah, okay. So we can begin to actually work with iron. So why don't we try that? So the bloomery works something like a hatch, and it allows us access here. And to use it, we'll need some coal. Eight charcoal that is, to start. There we go. So first we place the 8 charcoal. Then we will need up to 24 iron-bearing ore. And let's see. Oh, an equal number or more of charcoal. So we will need 24 charcoal as well. Okay, we have 15. Let's get 24. Great. Okay, now we go around up top. Okay, we will throw our ore in, and our charcoal, theoretically, that should now all be ready to go. So all we have to do is close the doors and light it. Awesome. And in 15 in-game hours, we'll have an iron bloom. But that wasn't quite long enough. So, I guess what we can do in the meantime is work more on the barn. What will we need for that? Let's grab... That's all pine. Okay. Let's grab some of this sequoia wood. Actually, you know what? I have a bunch out back I want to use first. We'll grab the axe because if we make a mistake, we may need it. We'll actually take back the shovel. And that should be everything we need from here. Although, actually, maybe we'll want these ladders. And the last thing we might want, yes, is a bunch of hay, straw. Yes, I know, I just did that the most inefficient way possible. That's okay. So, importantly here, we were replacing the floor with this straw. But I suppose that is a relatively boring thing to watch me do on camera. So I will do this, finish it up at least a little bit later. Let's see. The other thing we will want to do... Oh, and I forgot to grab this wood. 1 second, it's right out back here. Cool. Let's take one more stack. Okay. Assuming this is now the height we want it to be, which I think is probably a good one, the roof will keep relatively open. So, what we will want to do then is make a cross beam. I don't know if that's what this kind of beam is actually called. And of course my placement of that failed. I will cut that down off camera because it takes a while, especially... Okay, I'm going to have a lot of cutting to do off camera, apparently. But we will finally have, good, a little box here. And then what I'm thinking, okay, this is why we brought the ladders. I'm thinking we'll want a peaked roof on this. And I think, yeah, we will want it to rise in the center here. And come to a point. The question is, how do we do that? So, the blocks we have access to in TerraFirmaCraft are somewhat limited. Maybe we can do it with planks. Let's see. Sequoia doesn't show a sequoia stairs, which is what we might do. The other option is, of course, is stone. Give me a second. I will grab some of those materials and we'll see what we can do. Well, guys, I think I am firmly in favor of the stone. As much as it's not going to give the stereotypical wooden barn feel, I think we've just got too much of this sequoia all around. That said, I think I'm going to have to go find more stone somewhere, because I doubt I can make the whole roof off of what I've got now. But if I'm not mistaken, we have another matter to attend to. I believe our bloomery has finished. unnamed, says my Wayla. Oof. Okay. Let's mine it out. Ha! We have entered the Iron Age. We have a raw iron bloom. Now we should be able to take it and place it in our forge and heat it up. And then eventually, I think we can work it into iron ingots. Let's try that out. I'll be right back once it's heated up. Okay guys, here we have our heated thing. Okay, we need to hammer it 3 times. Awesome. Now we need to punch it as the last maneuver. Cool. So now we have one of these, and we need to hit it a bunch. Okay, we can accomplish that again. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Got a little bit too cool. But I am happy to report we have our first wrought iron ingot. We also have an iron bloom that is 60%. I don't actually know what I do with these. I believe 60% means it is 60% of a bar. So not enough to actually make one on its own. I guess I'll have to save it and see whether there is an opportunity to use it for something. Hopefully there is. Okay, I'm too impatient to keep those on any longer. Okay, and this one. Awesome. Oh. Ha. And here I thought I was getting this iron that I would then be able to use to make a new axe. But, like with all the other materials before it, before I can do that, I need to upgrade my anvil. And for that I need 14 bars of the stuff. That is going to be a little while. I can dip into my hematite, but from what I've been told, I want to save that, the rich stuff, for later. Although if I recall, I didn't completely mine out the vein. So we'll see. Okay, and I don't want to waste a charcoal. But for now, let's sleep through the night. And I'm going to get back to work on our barn. After I drink. Oh, and we broke our water jug. Huh. Okay, so yes, I was going to collect some more stone, and I will lay out the roof. I'm wondering whether I should bring it all the way to a peak, or I should end it part way and then make it flat. I'll play around with that. And be right back. Well, it's not quite done yet, but I do like how it's coming along. I think the roof turned out really nice. I like the contrast. It looks almost like a tin roof or corrugated iron or something. Look inside, we can see that I added a ladder up and a little loft. That's really just boards running across the roof or the ceiling. If we want to, we could put, I don't know, hay up here or store other things. Theoretically, if you're not careful, you can fall down through it, but I think that's appropriate for a barn. There's one more thing to do, and that is to close up these windows somehow. I want it to be pretty open and airy, so I'm thinking that I'll use white cedar fence posts and make a mesh that way. Alternately, I may just use the white cedar planks and make kind of a cage, well, that kind of cage to cover this. I'm not sure which yet. I might try, one window of each to start with. But to do that, I will need to chop down some of these trees. It looks like these ones in between here just aren't going to grow, which is a real pity. I had hoped they would, but it's been a couple more days, and so I think probably the white cedar can't always grow next to other white cedar, or has a low chance to. I guess that's why I've had Douglas fir recommended to me. I have seen that easily grow next to other fir. But the issue is my axe is broken. I've got this stone one, and I could just make a couple stone ones, but I'd rather have a better tool. I don't have enough iron yet to make my anvil and thus have an iron axe. So I'm going to go with bronze. But I realized something. I realized that we have all the required materials for fire clay. And that with this fire clay, we can make a crucible. Let's take a look. So I've been slowly grinding down some of my graphite. As I pass by, I'll hit the switch. So if we look at the fire clay recipe, we'll need 4 each of graphite and kaolinite per fire clay, and we'll need 5 of them. So 20 of each of those, and somewhere in here, there we go. And 20 clay. There we go. Oh, did not need nearly 20 clay. That's okay. Now we should be able to right-click on this. And get a crucible. Awesome. We can place the crucible on top of our forge, and you should note we can still access the forge. What the crucible does is allow us to make ingots directly, rather than using one of these pit kilns. What we can do is add our metal up here into the crucible, and provided it is heated enough, the metal will melt, form alloys, and then we can put in a mold and get out our ingots. Or, I suppose, rather than ingots, we could put in the molds for the tools we will need. Which I don't think is a bad idea, considering we have plenty of clay, and I am very bad at forging. So, let's see. I've got plenty of prospector's pick, but I am going to make an axe head mold, and a pick mold, and a shovel mold. And then I need one more thing to fire here. So, probably, yeah, hammer mold. Darn, did it wrong. There we go. Okay. So let's get these firing. And I know, firing these does somewhat defeat the purpose of using the crucible, but I want to try that out anyway. So, yeah. Actually, one of the things I should make now that I have access to iron is a flint and steel. Though maybe I'll put it off just a little bit longer, considering the rather urgent need we have of iron at the moment. Okay, I am going to let this pit kiln go, and then when it's about done, I will start the crucible up and see you then. Well, here we go, guys. The forge is pumping, and every time I add a little bit of copper to this, it's melting and getting added to our total here. You can see right now I'm at 100% copper. I'm putting in 11 rich native nuggets, I guess. And then 1 cassiterite. And there we go. Bam! Bronze. Well, this is disappointing. I was hoping that we could just put the molds here and get the item directly. But it looks like I am going to have to go through the ingot casts. Oh, fun. Well, I guess that means between this episode and next, I get to play around with some forging. But for this episode, I think it's the wrapping up point. Between this and next, I will forge those tools, and then next episode, we can hopefully use them to cut down some of that white cedar, finish our barn. I'll also work on collecting some more wood to make more charcoal between this episode and next, because I will need a lot of it to make enough iron to move on to the iron anvil and thus iron gear. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.